Hello and welcome to another video from World of Stew. Now I'm going to be honest and say that I wasn't going to do one of these videos for a while, taking a bit of a back step and taking some time off, but something drove me to the point where I felt the need to come on here and rant, which is unusual for anyone that knows me because normally I don't ever rant. But this video is about never looking back. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, I'm talking about television shows, of course. Now, classic TV shows that were big back in the day, I think we're getting to the point now where people need to realise they're not going to work in the modern day and age. Let's take a couple of examples, shall we? The X-Files ran for 9 seasons back in the day. Also, there was a movie, and then I think there was another movie before this new series came out. The new series just didn't work. It was pretty terrible, and they shouldn't have bothered. Another show, Prison Break. Now, Prison Break pretty much jumped the shark fairly early on in season 3, probably, but they managed to drag it out for a 4th season. But this new season, again, they shouldn't have bothered, because let's be honest, they just escaped from whether it was ISIS or the Taliban or Al Qaeda, I have no idea, but they just escaped from the Middle East, which not only jumped the shark, but kind of jumped over the shark, then jumped back over the shark, then swam in the sea and got eaten by the shark, pooed out by the shark, resurrected, and then jumped over the shark again. That's how bad that was. But even that is not the worst example of old TV shows that just shouldn't have come back. This is the point of this video. 2 words for you. Twin Peaks. What in the blue hell is the new Twin Peaks? Now, I was a fan of the original Twin Peaks. I realise it wasn't for everyone, but it was awesome. Yes, there was lots of weird stuff going on, but there was a definitive narrative running through the series that you could follow. It was primarily a murder mystery about the death of Laura Palmer, and then there was all these supernatural elements and all this crazy stuff. But even the weird stuff back in the day, in the original Twin Peaks, kind of made sense, in that it all kind of tied in together as part and parcel of the overall picture and the overall narrative of the show. Now, of course, it was, 25 years ago the original Twin Peaks finished, and they probably should have left well enough alone. Why? Well, the year is 2017. Twin Peaks season 3 has begun, and I have just watched episode 5, and I am now officially done. I will not be watching any more of the season. I think there's another 13 episodes to go, but I'm sorry, David Lynch, what the hell are you thinking? So let's take a quick look at what we've seen so far. The series started with a weird glass box and a guy that was basically sat there filming it and watching it. Then some random girl turns up, they have sex, and then this spooky ghost weird thing turns up and eats them, or kills them and rips them apart or something, I'm not sure. And there's all this weird stuff going on until I think it's about the 3rd episode when we finally start to get some sort of explanation or tie-in to the original Twin Peaks series, when we finally realise that Agent Dale Cooper, played by Carl McLaughlin, is still locked away in the lodge, except his mind is locked away in the lodge, but his body is possessed by the spirit of Bob, who obviously, spoiler alert here, but Bob possessed the body of Laura Palmer's dad in the original series, and it was Laura Palmer's dad that murdered her. So Bob, as we saw at the end of the original season 2 of Twin Peaks, is in the body of Dale Cooper. But there's also another Dale Cooper body in the real world under the guise of somebody called Dougie. And I think the idea is that this is a creation of the evil Bob slash Dale Cooper, whatever the hell his name is supposed to be. I'm sure it's probably been said, but I was just so confused and turned off by the whole thing that I didn't really pay that much attention. He's created this avatar that looks like him, something to do with distracting the lodge from finding him or something. If that doesn't really make sense, that's because I really don't know what the hell is going on. Dale Cooper, or the mind, the body of Dale Cooper, has some weirdness going on in the lodge, which is kind of trying to tie in with what happened in the original two series, but just doesn't really work. And then he escapes through an electric socket. This is all spoilers, by the way, for the new season, just in case you haven't watched it. And ends up in the body of Dougie, except now he's Dale Cooper, but everyone thinks he's Dougie. And he's kind of comatose but awake. So he's walking around and shuffling around, but he doesn't understand it. He doesn't know he's Dale Cooper. He doesn't know he's Dougie. And he's just kind of shuffling around and repeating everything that's said to him. And nobody seems to think this is weird. And then there's a scene where he ends up in a casino and he just wins the jackpot on every single machine. What in the blue hell, I don't know if I've said that already, but what in the hell is this got to do with Twin Peaks? There's no definitive narrative. I guess the point of the series is that we're supposed to follow evil Bob, Dale Cooper, and Dougie, Dale Cooper, until he realises he's actually Dale Cooper, and then the two battle it out, and maybe he exercises the spirit of Bob once and for all. I just don't know. This series is throwing out a lot of new characters as well that you'll have never seen before, and it seems to be throwing in a lot of celebrities just for the sake of throwing in big celebrity names. So far we've had Naomi Watts, we've had Michael Cera, we've just had in episode 5 Robert Nepner and James Belushi, who of course is the lesser talented of the Belushi brothers. Rest in peace, John Belushi. You are still missed. You were a legend. It just, for want of a better phrase, is complete and utter bollocks. Now I know that there's a lot of people, I've seen it on Twitter and all over Facebook and stuff, that are loving it and going, oh my god, this is amazing. It started off slow, but now it's great. And Carl McLachlan I read something today that Carl McLachlan should win an Emmy, and I think someone said a TV Oscar. Well, should win a couple of primetime awards anyway. No. If we've learned anything since the first Twin Peaks left our screens, it's that Carl McLachlan is a terrible actor. If you want evidence of how bad an actor Carl McLachlan is, go and watch not the current season of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which I think is season 5, maybe season 4. Anyway, go back to the previous season, so either season 4 or season 3, and watch Carl McLachlan chew the scenery like you would not believe in that series, where he ends up playing some sort of Jekyll and Hyde type character, and it is god awful. It was so awful. That's why I have no idea what series Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is on now, because I stopped watching it because of his involvement and how terrible he was. So here people are bigging him up and saying, oh, he's amazing, he's playing these two diverse characters, he's playing the evil Bob and the dim-witted Dougie and blah blah blah. No. Carl McLachlan is a terrible, terrible actor. Is he as bad as Nicolas Cage? No. Is he as bad as Samuel L. Jackson? Debatable, but he is pretty bad. And speaking of the acting in this show, it's just season 5 began with a scene, or towards the beginning of episode 5, not season 5. There's a scene where the wife of Fred, or is it Frank? I think it might be Frank Truman, who is the sheriff, and he's also the brother of Harry Truman from the original series, who is the only person who's not in this new series because he retired a long time ago. Lucky escape for him. She turns up, and she is so bad, she makes Carl McLachlan look like Laurence Olivier. That's how bad she is. This series has chucked in over the top special effects. It's ramped up the weird. I mean, David Lynch has always been weird anyway. You just have to watch Blue Velvet or Lost Highway, or in particular, of course, Eraserhead, if you want to know just how weird David Lynch can be. It's like he's had a bit of a break and he's decided, I'm going to ramp it up to 120% just to see what I can get away with and push the envelope, and it just doesn't work. Now, don't just take my word for it. There are people all over the same social media platforms that I mentioned before that, unlike me, don't get it. My sister, for instance, was a massive mark for Twin Peaks. She loved the original series. She read the tie-in book, The Diary of Laura Palmer, Fire Walk with Me. She enjoyed that. She is going to persevere with this series, I think, purely because she is more tolerant than me, but she doesn't really get what's going on, and she is not a fan either. So I guess in closing, I just wanted to have a bit of a rant and share my thoughts with you, because frankly, they need to stop. I don't want to see any more old shows coming back. I don't want to see any old shows being turned into movies, really, because let's be honest, Baywatch is all the evidence you need that that's not going to work either. I can't really think off the top of my head of any other old shows that could potentially come back, but if you should ever log onto the internet or open a newspaper and see that they're bringing back the Dukes of Hazzard, or they're bringing back Buffy the Vampire Slayer, write to whoever you need to, cancel your subscriptions to whatever, and stop the madness. Because this new series of Twin Peaks, along with Prison Break, which I'm probably going to watch to the end purely because I'm a masochist, and well, I say I'm a masochist, but I'm giving up on Twin Peaks because I'm not that much of a masochist. It's just terrible. Just please, 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 please stop. There is a world of people out there, authors and script writers, who are talented. They've got ideas, filmmakers, people that want to make TV shows. They're not being given a chance because they're going for the networks, and the stations are going for the easy buck by going with old ideas which they know people will tune into. So if you're enjoying the new Twin Peaks, more power to you. It's not for me, because frankly, I would rather watch paint dry than watch any more of that show. That was my thoughts. If you've got any comment, you're probably going to want to slate me and say, you have no idea what you're talking about, you're an imbecile. Or you may agree with me and say, fair play, the new Twin Peaks is pretty bad, and I too have absolutely no clue what's going on. Then obviously down there below, here on YouTube, you can leave a comment and let me know what you think. Until next time, keep it geek.